Alright, so the OnePlus 12R is a really fun smartphone to use, but it's actually a really serious device and it's definitely deliberate about what it has to offer. And based on my tests so far, I think this is definitely front runner up as the best value smartphone this year. And that is despite a few shortcomings that a lot of people might see as slightly deal breakers. And I could tell you my number one gripe, but let's talk about it. So, best value, what does that even mean? Well, let's break it down. You're getting one of the most powerful chipset from last year inside this thing. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 4nm processor with the Adreno 740 GPU. And while this might not be the latest and the greatest from Snapdragon, it is still one of the most powerful on the market right now. And along with that flagship chipset, you're getting 128, 8 gigs of RAM in the base model. But the one that I have here is the 256 gig, 16 gigs of RAM. It comes with a 6.78-inch high refresh rate AMOLED ProXDR display with an LTPO4 panel that can dial all the way down from 1 Hz back up to 120 Hz based on content and use case. 1 billion colors, HDR10 plus and Dolby Vision support, 1600 nits peak brightness, and it's all protected by Gorilla Glass Victus. Now, I mean, we're still in flagship territory here, but I mean, we're talking about a mid-tier phone. Let's talk about the camera. It has a 50 megapixel f1.8 24mm wide angle lens with phase detection, autofocus, laser autofocus, and optical image stabilization, plus a 8 megapixel f2.2 16mm 112 degree ultra wide lens and a 2 megapixel macro camera. And this is the only time we're ever going to talk about this for the rest of the video. No more macro cameras. However, you can shoot 4K video at 30 and 60 frames per second, 1080p up to 240 frames per second, with electronic image stabilization and optical image stabilization. And the selfie camera is a 16 megapixel f2.4 26mm wide angle lens that is capped at 1080p at 30 frames per second with electronic image stabilization. It is worthwhile noting that this cap on the front-facing camera in 1080p is not due to the chipset. This chipset can shoot 4K at 60 frames per second, but you know, because it's a budget phone, they just cap it to the software. So if you know a way we can work around, we can get around that and put it back to 60 frames per second, you know, I'm all here. Just let me know down in the comment section. But overall, I mean, I like the camera, but I'm gonna leave it to your judgment. Just tell me down in the comment section, what do you think about the photos and videos that this thing produces?
Billie Jean, Christian Dior, I'm up in all the stores. When he raised the pose, she like the way I walk in the spot, 30 on me, buy at the club, niggas know that I'm paid. Bitch, I'm a get me lit, I can't fuck with these niggas cause niggas is gay. All in my sucking dick, all in my comments and screaming my name while I'm in the car, throwing them hundreds and fifties and ones and ones.
It has a really loud stereo speaker setup with Bluetooth 5.3, aptX, HD, LDAC, SBC, and AAC codec support. And also, one of the coolest things, you get this infrared port right here, which means you can use the remote to control almost anything. It's really cool when you go and you're controlling the remote somewhere and somebody's like, what, who's doing that? While you're on your phone scrolling through TikTok, and they don't know. I'm just saying. I'm not telling you to prank anyone, but no, I'm just saying. You also get a 5500 milliamp hour battery with the SuperVOOC 80 watt charger in the box that can charge this phone from 1% to 100% in a little under 35 minutes. And you can use the eSIM or the dual micro SIM slots, but I think one of the coolest features of all this flagship goodness that you get with this phone is the price, which is about $499 at the time of shooting this video for the base model. And I mean, this thing for 400-ish bucks is a slight callback to the good old glory days of OnePlus flagship killer. So I mean, you're talking about this thing with this powerful chipset, fast RAM and storage. It has a really big battery, smooth operating system, and it can game and multitask like a champ. This is not only a great value, but I mean, it's also a true flagship killer, in the sense that that word was even coined in the first place. And I mean, OnePlus right now is just chilling in the back, acting like this thing is not a big deal, when they should be making a lot more noise about it. So, I mean, I guess this is why I'm talking about it, because is actually that good. I've said this before in a couple of other videos, and I'm gonna say it again. I love me some beautiful curved display, and the 12R ProXDR display didn't let me down. This is a beautiful display, and it's probably one of the best in class in this price category right now. I mean, if I'm wrong, point and show me down in the comment section of one that possibly have a better display than this one in this price class. I'm ready for it, I'm up for it. It has a wide color gamut and a high contrast ratio. This thing has one of the best color calibration accuracies on the market, with one of the brightest at 1600 nits peak brightness, but OnePlus said that this thing can actually go up to 4500 nits. Personally, while using it, I don't think I've ever seen that, but if they say it is, then I mean, I guess it is. It supports sRGB, Rec 709, and the new DCI-P3 color gamut. OnePlus over the years have always made sure they color calibrate all of their displays, and this one is no different. But what's interesting to me is the fact that OnePlus maintained the same energy in calibrating their displays, their flagship displays, as they would for this mid-tier phone. Beautiful display, and I mean especially the fact that you can actually jump into the settings and switch up the colors to the pro mode and all that kind of stuff. It all depends on what your flavor is. You can definitely do that. And that's the thing about OnePlus. They always give you these different options to switch things up and make things yours. You can personalize the colors. Content look rich, vivid, and sharp with excellent viewing angles. And like I said earlier, the stereo audio setup from the speakers it adds to that immersion when you're watching videos. I mean, there's one slight thing. I wish that this thing had a little bit more bass, and they kind of bump the mid-tone frequencies up just a little bit more so you can have a little bit more body. But other than that, it still sounds good. The truth is, I mean, at this price point, I'm not mad at it. Oh yeah, by the way, before I forget, this display in auto brightness mode out in the sun, badass. You can definitely see everything that you need to see. So I mean, I truly love the customization options that OxygenOS 14 has to offer. I mean, to be honest, I used to love OxygenOS a lot better back in the day before the ColorOS remix on top. But I mean, it is still fine now. They kind of smooth it off a little bit and remove some of the ColorOS stuff, so it doesn't look as aggressively ColorOS, but you can still see it, and it's all right. By the way, I want to know who came up with the idea that it was a good idea to give the haptic feedback on this thing its own animation, so you could see visibly what you're feeling when you're switching the haptic feedback. I mean, it's a brilliant idea. It's pretty cool. I like it. And I mean, with that, it's almost impossible for you to not figure out a way how to make this thing your own with so much customization options. The 12R is the dark horse in the race that you definitely underestimate because of its budget-friendly price and its mid-tier designation, but it is low-key flagship device. As a matter of fact, I think this is just a remix version of the flagship 11 from last year, but I mean, everything else is the same. It's the same main camera, the same Bluetooth, the same GPS, the same front-facing camera. It's the same IP64 dust and water resistance. It is the same 100-watt fast charging. However, in North America, they kind of software limited down to 80 watts fast charging, but I mean, it is the same super fast charging. Honestly though, I think one of the best selling points of this smartphone is the battery life and performance. And that is because this thing has a beefy 5500 milliamp hour battery inside. And I mean, I was hard pressed to nuke this battery in a day use when I just got it. And that is because the software definitely stomp out any apps that is running in the background, any power hungry app that is running in the background. It shut them down really fast, especially when they're not priority. And for that reason, I think that this thing can give the average smartphone user that is not a power user a 2-day use. It can definitely be a 2-day phone for some people, possibly even more. I mean, this watch is the OnePlus watch, and I hardly even charge this thing. I can go days wearing this thing, and I hardly even charge it, but I will talk about this in a different video, so stay tuned for that. But I mean, overall, other than that, I think this thing is definitely up in the running for being one of the best value smartphones, one of the best flagship killer smartphones of 2024. And I mean, if you want one for yourself, check the links down in the description. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I think I've seen as much as need to be said. But if you have any questions, leave it down in the comment section. If you like videos like these, click my face to get subscribed. And yeah, leave your comment down in the comment section and tell me what you think about the OnePlus 12R. Oh yeah, by the way, before I go, stick around for my next video coming up. I'm talking about why this is the best headphone you can buy right now for audio quality. I didn't say one of, I said the best for audio quality. It's your boy, big up yourself.